Raymond. You're watching RPadTV, and I'm here with my excellent friend Paul Semel, and we're going to talk about D23 2026. Paul, I want to apologize in advance for the short teasing this about D23 and what you may or may not be able to do with 23Ds. I guess you'll find out on Tuesday when that teaser video is up. But you just got back from Jersey. How was home?
It was nice to be able to get real pizza.
Yes.
And good Indian food. For people who don't know, I live in Los Angeles, where both of those things are in short supply. I didn't get to go to Manhattan though for like literally the first time in every trip I've ever taken back home for 30 years. But yeah, what are you gonna do? So
did you hang out with your good friends Bruce Springsteen and John Bon Jovi?
I did. Went to John's house down in Keyport for the night, and we hung out, and then we all went out to dinner and had a good old time. And Southside Johnny was there without the jukes. I don't know what the other. I was going to say Bruce Willis, but he's not really much of a party mood lately. So,
okay, way to bring down the mood, Paul.
Sorry, I was trying to think of famous Jersey people, and it was like Whitney Houston, Frank Sinatra, like.
Well, Jon Stewart is now a resident, longtime.
Oh, no, that's true. He's a resident. Yeah, I could have mentioned Jon Stewart, but
yeah. So D23, there's a ton of stuff, massive announcements for Marvel and DC fans. Let's just jump right into it and talk about the X-Men cast reveals. Obviously we knew that Sadie Sink is playing Jean Grey. They announced Samara Weaving, but we have a bunch of new cast members. We have Maya Boyd as Storm, Kit Connor is Cyclops, and the two big ones, Indy Navarrete as Rogue and Adam Driver is Mr. Sinister. I mean, Paul, out of these announcements, which cast announcement excited you the most out of these?
Well, it's funny because I was thinking back to when they announced the cast to the previous two versions, and every single time it's always a mix of like, oh, it's that person, and who the hell is that person?
Yeah.
And that's what you got this time. So for me, like, the only person that I knew, well, I knew Indy, but I hadn't seen her movie. Like, I knew her from social media. I hadn't seen that film she's in.
Did you watch the Superman series she was in? She was good in that.
No, I didn't see that either. The only one I knew was Samara Weaving, who I had seen in Ready or Not, I think it's called, this horror movie she was in that she was really, really good at. And I think she's spot on for Emma Frost. Way better than January Jones.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Better, not just a better actress, but she's got this like wicked little smirk.
Yeah, you need that attitude for Emma. Yeah. Emma's arrogant.
And and I don't think Samara Weaving is arrogant, but I think she can play arrogant.
Yeah,
like, exactly. I think she knows that, and from what I've seen of her also be interviewed, like I definitely like see her being able to pull that off really well. The rest of the people, like, I don't really know. Like, for example, I've never seen Kit Connor in anything. I've never seen Christopher Abbott, who's going to play Professor X in anything.
That's right. I forgot him as well.
Maya Boyd, I've never seen anything. Although I got to say, I'm glad they picked her over the Wicked Lady, because I didn't think the Wicked Lady was right for that part.
I mean, for the age range they're going for, I think she's too old. So Maya Boyd seems age appropriate compared to the rest of the cast.
Right. I am also glad that they cast Indy as Rogue and not Mystique, which was one of the rumors going around.
Well, that's what she said, but I think she was doing that to swerve people, because she was saying when people would ask her who she would like to play, she would say Mystique, but I'm guessing that was kind of to throw people off the trail.
Maybe. I mean, the rumor about Mystique is that they want Hunter Schafer from Euphoria, which I think would be really, really cool, because she's a really cool actress. Although she was actually apparently up for Emma Frost as well, which is would have been, I think, an equally good choice. But I think she'd be better as Mystique.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the age also. I was thinking Hunter might be just a tad young. I don't know her actual age, but I'm guessing Samara Weaving is slightly older than Hunter. And
I think she comes across as older, which I think is more important than her actual age. Like Samara Weaving comes across older than Hunter, but I'm basing this on one horror movie that Samara was in and Euphoria, and the way those two have when they're being interviewed, as opposed to like I never seen them in other things, so it's difficult for like
you didn't see her in that Bill and Ted, the updated one. She was in that.
What was she in Bill and Ted's?
She was the daughter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So she has comedic chops.
Well,
and complete dumb.
You thought that movie was funny. I mean, that's hard.
I thought that movie it wasn't nearly as funny as the first one.
Yeah,
it was still it had some funny moments.
It's more nostalgic, cute than haha funny. Yeah, that's the vibe I got from it.
I did think it was interesting that they haven't said who's playing Magneto,
or if there will be a Magneto,
or if there's right. Or that's the thing. Like there's 5 people that I thought of: Wolverine, Beast, Angel, Iceman, and Magneto.
Right. Well, if they stick with the original cast, there wouldn't be a Wolverine. And it appears that's kind of what they're doing. I don't know.
Right.
Beast is rumored. The kid in Beef season 2 was rumored for that. I don't know if that's happening or not. But yeah, Feige said that there are more casting announcements to come. So this is definitely not all of the X-Men or all of the villains. Speaking of villains, I love Adam Driver as Mr. Sinister, partially because he's like 60% of the way there. He has like an intimidating super villain voice, and you know he can get intense. I just just stick a red gem in his head. He's like, oh, there you go. So
yeah,
that almost seems like too good of a casting, and I can't wait to see it. I'm so excited to see the first clips of that.
Yeah, I did like his little video where he was like, I'm going to play no, wait, apparently I'm playing someone else. Like, I thought that was really funny. And that he was on the set and was like, where the hell is everybody?
Where's everyone?
Yeah. I thought that was pretty funny. I think he's a good actor, and he can play that, it kind of taps into some of the similar stuff that he did as Kylo Ren, I think. But it's an interesting choice for a bad guy too.
Oh yeah, I love Sinister, although it gets a little wacky. They've used him more in the animated series, so maybe that's one of the reasons, because people might be familiar with him from that.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to even more John Oliver jokes about Adam Driver's hotness now. So those are always good.
Yeah. Yeah, but that whole thing was very funny.
I'm really excited for Indy. I loved her in the Superman series. Obsession is one of my favorite movies this year. It's so funny because, she was struggling, to make ends meet after Obsession was filmed. She was streaming, I think, playing Call of Duty. So she's a gamer.
Yeah.
And I think she was dog walking or something. And now since Obsession was released, it's just like, so super happy.
Yeah. It's funny because, as you know, and some other people may remember, I worked for a video game magazine 25 years ago called Insight, and we did a lot of celebrity stuff, like when we found celebrities who were into video games. And I just think that, like, because Samara is like a huge gamer, and so is Indy, and it would have been so much fun to have like the two of them come and play like some X-Men fighting game or something. And I was just like, oh man.
And for context, for younger viewers and listeners, 25 years ago, it was not easy to find celebrity gamers. So that was much more challenging. Whereas now, you have so many people that grew up with these videos.
Right. Oh yeah, we used to do it. We used to do a column called Closet Gamer, where we would be like, "Hey, we know you might have heard of Vin Diesel. Did you know he's into video games?" Like, it literally was that.
Right.
Like,
Whereas now.
Now it's like, who isn't into video games?
Well, yeah, it's like now it's not even that you're a gamer. It's like, you don't say I'm a movie watcher. Everyone watches movies. Everyone pretty much plays games. And I love that we're here now, because, it was still a niche nerd geek thing when we first started in journalism. And now it's just a thing that people do.
Yeah, exactly.
For characters that have not been announced, are there any ones you're looking forward to, like Beast or Iceman or something? And who would you cast as them?
I don't know. I don't know who I would cast, but I the ones I'm most curious about are Magneto and Iceman. I definitely but I kind of, because the thing with Magneto is Magneto has to be someone who is on par with Professor X.
Of course.
And you had that with Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. And you had that with Fassbender and James McAvoy. So you have to get somebody that has that. Like they almost have to have chemistry the way like you want romantic leads in a movie to have chemistry. Like you want them to have that. So that's what I'm very curious about. I also still, and I know people are going to laugh at me for this, I still want them to get Daniel Radcliffe to play Wolverine. I'm not joking about that. I think that would work really, really well. I think he's got it in him.
Especially if you go comics accurate Wolverine, who's supposed to be short.
Right.
Not a giant hunk of an Australian like we've had.
Right. Because there's all these rumors that Marvel met with Henry Cavill about playing a role in something. They didn't say X-Men. They just said something. And like, he would be a really good Wolverine. But again, he's not like, he's like a tall dude. Like he's taller than like, most of these people.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't think they would do it, but I also think they're going to shy away from Wolverine for a bit and, stick with somewhat of the original X-Men, even though, you have Rogue in the mix. So that's already different. But yeah, I think they want to shy away for Wolverine for a bit anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I think now I didn't consider that, but now that you've said it, like that sounds like it might be a good idea to have him maybe be the second movie is where he comes in somehow.
Because he's still got to take advantage of Jackman playing old Wolverine for a bit, or until he's 90. Like they said.
Yeah.
For me, I hope they do something with Angel, because live action Angel has not gotten a fair shake, and I would like to see someone do something interesting with that character, in the
because he was sort of like an afterthought in the third movie.
Yep.
And then was it Apocalypse?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah. So there's nothing.
Well, he had that scene with the Metallica song. That's all I remember about him.
Nothing memorable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hopefully they cast someone better as Psylocke, because the last person sucked. That's all I'll say about that. Let's move on to Ahsoka season 2. We got another trailer. I love this show so much, but I understand that there were problems with season 1. If you weren't a massive Rebels nerd like me and Paul, it probably was a little confusing, and you're probably wondering who the hell is Sabine Wren and all these people. But if you loved Rebels, that show had so many of my favorite moments in TV ever, like Sabine and Ezra being reunited, Ezra and Hera being reunited at the end. Is like, this is beautiful. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of that. The teaser showed the Zeb and Ezra reunion as Commander Myluran, as some people might know Zeb as. I paid homage to him as Ensign Myluran there. I don't know. This got me more excited. I was already super excited for the show, but it has me more hopeful that they'll be doing a better job of appealing to a broader audience than season 1 did. What's the vibe you got from the trailer, Paul?
Well, for me, the first thing that struck me was all the space battles.
Yeah.
And how they made it really look exciting. I have a feeling though that the percentage of space battles in the actual series will be lower than it was in the trailer, but that's okay. But they look like big space battle. Like they look like the beginning of episode 3, like that when there was that massive space battle over Coruscant. Like it was that level, which is kind of just an amazing thing to say about a television show. it's funny that you talk so much about people not knowing Rebels might get this season better, because my understanding is that what the first season did is it made a lot of people go back and watch Rebels.
As well they
And
should,
so,
because it's awesome.
yeah, and so I think that I agree that it won't be as much of an issue, but I think it won't be as much of an issue because people are like, oh, there was this other thing, and like you and I both know that like anyone who's watched Rebels has gotten into Rebels. The other thing that struck me in the trailer was I'm excited that little Ahsoka is back.
Yeah.
And that she apparently gets into a lightsaber fight with somebody mysterious. Like there were a couple like mysterious like characters there, including one who looked like they were getting killed at the time. But like,
do you have any guesses of who that might be?
No. I mean, I'm hoping they're original characters.
Yeah.
Not everybody has to be somebody. You got to have some new characters.
But I hope there's a payoff, because Marok in season 1 looked all cool until he became like a evil fart after he got killed.
True.
Like,
True. Yeah, I mean, I'm very curious to see. I'm very curious to see how Ahsoka gets back, and I'm also excited to see all the stuff with her, and Hayden.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was tremendous in Ahsoka season 1, and I feel so happy for him, because there were problems with the prequels, but now it seems like he's more appreciated than he was at that time.
Well, I mean, you and I have talked about this before, that like when the prequels came out, there were all the people like our age who were like, ew, I don't like these. But you have an entire group of Star Wars fans. That's Star Wars to them.
Absolutely.
They love Hayden as Anakin and whatnot.
And then
in fact,
you said there's even a generation where Star Wars is the Clone Wars cartoon.
Right. Well, that's I think, and actually one of the things that Dave Filoni, who runs things now,
yes,
he made a point of saying that is like you have people who started with the prequels, you have people who started with the middle movies or the original movies, you have people who started with the sequels, you have Clone Wars contingent, you have the Rebels contingent. You have people who came at it from the video games. You have people who come at it from the books. There's even the kids who started with the Lego Star Wars. Like that's the first Star Wars they saw. And he goes, it's kind of a balancing act to try and appeal to all of these people. And, and the way you have to do that is not treat anybody as a second-class citizen. Like a couple of months ago, I saw these rumors that like Disney was going to retcon things and pretend that the sequel movies didn't happen. And I'm like, no, they're not.
No, they're not. Yeah.
That's fucking stupid. Like, it was one thing to say, oh, all the books that came out in the 70s and 80s don't count anymore. But it's like a completely different thing to be like, one of these movies doesn't count anymore.
Yeah. So the Sith, or the evil guy with the lightsaber that they show in the trailer, he has interesting makeup, which I didn't register at first. A friend of mine was like, does that remind you of anyone? And I'm like, Marilyn Manson? He's like, no, he looks like one of the temple guardians with their face paint. Like maybe it's one of the Jedi temple guardians turned bad who becomes an inquisitor. Could be, probably not. I hope it's an original character, like you said, but I also hope they do something. They give him a better ending.
It could be a really cool inquisitor. That's a new character.
Yeah,
that would count as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because I get the sense that the inquisitors are refreshed from time to time. Like it's not, they didn't start off with 13 and then every time one of them dies, it's like, oh crap, we're down in ink.
I'm happy to see Aman Esfandi all clean shaven and back into his snappy Ezra Bridger mode. Although without the beard that he had in season 1, I'm like, why aren't you making out with Mary Jane in her apartment? So I think of him as that now. Is there anyone you're looking forward to seeing more of in season 2 that you didn't see as much of in season 1?
Zeb. because so far we've gotten we've had Zeb, but very little. You know what I mean? Like he only kind of turned up as a cameo at one point, and then in the Grogu movie, like he's in it a little bit more. Like I want him to be like back, like the way like Sabine is back and Hera and
right,
and everybody. Like,
but he's also more expensive because he's CG. So
yeah, but
I didn't get enough Hera in season 1, and I hope we see more of her in season 2. Hopefully also dressed like a normal person. The Oral Knots did this great like 80s style trailer of Ahsoka season 1, and they described Hera as a pilot with the heart of a pilot who's always dressed to pilot. So, like, yeah, she always does have the goggles on. So I'd like to see her, looking more. Give me some casual Hera where she's like the mom to Ezra. I want to see more of that relationship.
Right.
I remember in I think it was the Rebels Reddit, people were asking, or maybe it was the Ahsoka Reddit, people were asking, what do you want to see more of in Ahsoka season 2? And my instantaneous answer was more war crimes by Chopper, because that's kind of what he does.
Yeah.
Depending on who you believe, Chopper has the highest body count in Star Wars that we know of.
Right. I think it would also be interesting if they incorporated some people like Bo-Katan and like people like somebody like that. I don't know.
Well, Hondo is one of my favorite characters, and
Hondo. Have we seen Hondo in live action?
Not in live action, and I think he's hilarious. And especially now that Ezra is back in the proper universe, I always loved the relationship Hondo and Ezra had. It's like, he loved him, but he always like scammed him. But I think
the question is though, when they do Hondo, or if they do Hondo, do they do a guy in a mask or CG? And do they get the guy who did his voice to do his voice, or do they let whoever the actor is do it?
I think you go with an actor with prosthetics.
I think so too, but do you then let that guy do the voice?
I don't even know how old that guy is, or if he's alive.
He's not young. He's still alive, but he's our age. So, he's not old, but he's not young.
For that character, that seems, I don't know. To me, that character is older than our age in my head. They're aliens, so I don't know what that means.
Right. We don't. I'm like, Grogu's our age, for Christ's sake.
And he can't even speak.
But the thing is, I think that's a voice that other people could do. If you get the tenor down, then you've got it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's about like kind of the it's not about the sound of his voice as it is about the way he says things. So I think you could get somebody new to do it if they wanted to go that route.
It's like George Harrison said, something in the way he moves.
Yeah.
I think that's what he said. I'm super excited for this show. I was bummed it got delayed till next year, but we haven't talked about the main character herself. Some people criticized Rosario Dawson's performance, particularly in the fight scenes, but I love her in the acting sequences. Yeah, she might not be as dynamic as you imagine Ahsoka to be in fight sequences, but
I mean, bear in mind that at the time frame of Ahsoka is long after Rebels, so she's older. And again, being an alien, not a human, we don't know what that means, but like it makes sense that she's gotten older.
Yeah.
And when you see the kid playing, young, little Ahsoka, or whatever you want to call it, Ahsoka Jr., whatever. I think that you're going to see her be much more spry. Yeah. I don't think that's necessarily like a function of it being Rosario Dawson, and Rosario Dawson isn't like the most acrobatic person in the world. I think it's just, Ahsoka's older.
See, I think she should be kind of in her prime. According to Wikipedia, Togruten's lifespan averages to 94 years. So she should be kind of in her prime now. But again, it's aliens. They're making it up as they go along.
Yeah.
There are no rules. Thrawn. I love this character. I love the actor playing him. I love that they're making him kind of look like evil Elon Musk, but a lot smarter. What are your expectations for Thrawn now that he's back in the proper universe and he doesn't have holes in his uniform anymore?
I think that we are going to see like you talked about Ahsoka in her prime. I think this is going to be prime Thrawn. Like we're going to see this, where he's not sort of hamstrung by, a lack of resources and being separated. Like I think he's going to walk in the room and be like, he says, like, I declare war on the rebellion. I think he's going to walk in and be like, I'm in charge.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Like, and everybody's going to be like, oh shit. Like, okay.
They didn't show much of him in the trailer, but what do you think of Rory McCann replacing Ray Stevenson, the late great Ray Stevenson, as Baylan Skoll?
I mean, my first thought when something like that happens is always to let the character die with them. But I understand that there's more story to tell. I think that the guy they got is good, and I think it will be it won't be like Darren on Bewitched, where it seemed like a really weird switch, if I could be so old. But to me, it's gonna be more like when they got Don Cheadle to play Rhodey. And like there was like 1 second, and then you're like, oh, okay, that's Rhodey. Like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like it'll take like a split second, and then you're gonna be like, oh, okay.
And I think it's fitting. Rory and Ray were friends in real life, so it's kind of like he's keeping his old friend alive.
Yeah,
in some ways.
But it also makes me think that character is going to be pivotal, because if they're going to have some major consequence to that part of the story, because if they didn't, they just would have been like, oh, he fell off a cliff and died.
Right.
And they would shift the focus onto his little apprentice.
Yes. Shin Hati, as I call her. Let's close Ahsoka out with this. I mean, Filoni has created an amazing world between Clone Wars and Rebels, but it gets really complex and intricate. If he goes into things with the Mortis gods, for example, it looks like all signs point to the Mortis gods playing a part of this. Is that too nerdy for a mainstream audience, or do you think it'll work?
I think it will work because it's television and people can pause and go and look something up online and then come back and continue watching. You can't do that when you're watching a movie in theaters.
Well,
or at least you're not. People do. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure people do, but like you shouldn't.
Yeah.
I think you can get away with more in a TV show. Also, that you can explain more in a TV show because you have a lot more time. Right. They can kind of explain it. They can do something to explain those characters to the audience and a character, in the show. So I think they'll be fine.
I hope so. Let's see what happens. Now let's move on to Avengers Doomsday. They dropped a new trailer at D23 and it got pretty intense. What were your favorite moments from the trailer, Paul?
I mean, that one, I was not expecting the trailer to be like that, because that trailer literally it's all about Doom.
Yeah.
And it's funny because one of the things it made me think of was by the time we got to Avengers Infinity War, we knew who Thanos was. We knew that he was powerful. And okay, then he beats the crap out of the Hulk, and we're like, oh shit. With Doom, he hasn't had that kind of build-up yet. I mean, obviously, a lot more people know Dr. Doom than they ever knew Thanos. Just it being the culture, but like they were like, this is the thing. We all know they were building something with Kang, and then when that guy fucked shit up.
Jonathan Winters. Jonathan Majors, but
when Jonathan Majors got caught doing something terrible, they were like, well, no, we're not doing that again.
Allegedly, I just want to
allegedly,
I don't know what
allegedly,
happened.
right? But like, it seemed obvious that like they were setting him up so that when they got to whatever the original Avengers movie was going to be,
The
you
Kang
would
Dynasty.
know the
Yeah.
Kang. Thank you. So Kang Dynasty, when we got to Kang Dynasty, we would know who Kang was the same way we knew who Thanos was. And
Right.
they've kind of had to scramble and do that with Doom. And I think that's why they put the trailer out that they did, to try and make, because you showed that shot of like Thor coming down on him with Stormbreaker, and he's
Right.
literally like two
Mm,
fingers, like stopping him.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's a great point about the buildup, because Thanos was built up in teasers in several post-credit scenes before we got to see him. They were building up Kang and Ant-Man, and also in Loki season 2.
right?
So they're, until Jonathan Winters got into trouble. And I know it's Jonathan Winters just cracks me up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that Doom has not had that luxury of being built up. But as comic book readers, you and I both know how powerful different iterations of Doom have been.
Yeah.
Especially going into Secret Wars, which is the movie after next.
Right.
What do you think of the theory that there are possibly two Dooms, or there's a before Doom and after Doom? Because people made a point of pointing out that he has different uniforms in the trailer, one with 2 clasps for his cape and one with just one. So do you think there are possibly multiple Dooms? Or
I mean, we know that the movies involve characters from different universes.
Yeah.
That you have like the people from the regular MCU, and then you have people from the Fox movies, which is a different parallel universe to the MCU. And then of course you have the Fantastic Four, who are in a different parallel universe, and they've come to the MCU. So that wouldn't surprise me at all. It's weird because I don't really, people always talk about trailers being terrible because they spoil everything. And I watched this trailer and I was like, I still have no idea what the hell's going on.
I think you know more than you're letting. I mean, you've read the comic books that are inspiring this, so you have a general.
Yeah, but if one thing has taught me anything about the MCU movies and TV shows, is that if you assume anything is going to be the same as the comics, it's not.
Sure. I mean,
that they change things, and they have their own path that they're going on, and it's inspired by, but it's not,
yeah.
It's never the same. And and the other thing is, we also know from the past is that they put things in the trailers to lead you one way, and then they're like, psych, we went a different way.
Yeah.
They're trying to capture the feeling of the movie and get you excited for the movie, and then they don't always do things. And they're not the only ones, by the way. Other people do that as well. So yeah, I mean, the trailer got me very excited. I like that there's like the scene where it looks like everybody's like kind of standing around, and Sue is basically telling them who Doom is, and all this stuff. But it was interesting that it was so Doom centric, and like there's a scene which looks like New York City has just been destroyed, and then you have Reed being like, "Did you do this, Victor?" Like as if, again, we don't know if that's really what he's doing, but it's implying that Doom destroyed the New York City, and that he's being confronted about it. So of all of the trailers to come out of D3, this was the one that got me the most excited for things.
Yeah, I mean, partially because it's so close. So
that's true.
I did love that scene with Reed, just like the intensity of it. I'm a big Pedro Pascal fan. Mac is not, so maybe it's good that he's not here for this one. But Pedro's I love when he gets intense, and the relationship between when Reed and Victor is so important, for both characters, and for the future of the MCU, where it appears that it's going to be more Fantastic Four and X-Men, and kind of de-emphasizing the Avengers till they reboot the team. So I'm excited for this. It's just,
yeah.
How about
I kind of feel though that where they're going with this is not that they're going to reboot the Avengers per se, but that basically you have these different groups, but
Not
when they
reboot.
come together, no. What I mean is like the Avengers. It will be more like the Avengers at the end of Endgame, where basically it is not like a set group of people, but basically it represents all the superheroes that like that something whatever the next Avengers movie is at the end of the next wave, which is years from now, that the Avengers will not be like the 5 people coming together to fight things. It will be like everybody. Like it will be the Fantastic Four and the X-Men and X-Force and this and the group and that, like all together, like coming together, like the way they did. Do you know what I
know what you mean, but I don't see that happening.
Like I don't see them doing a movie where it's like, Captain America, Ironheart, Thor, like and like 2 other characters fighting some big bad.
Oh, I absolutely
you know what I mean?
do. I think that will be after the X-Men movies. I think they're going to revisit a new Avengers team.
Oh,
and
well,
I don't think it'll encompass that many people. But yeah, I think it'll be a more focused team. Maybe not 5, but fewer than 10, because it's hard to juggle that many storylines and keep everything interesting. But we also have younger Avengers who are probably maybe too old to be the young Avengers now, but they'll possibly be champions. That could be interesting.
Right.
Let me go on this tangent and talk about a joke that I forgot to make in the Ahsoka segment. But I read this funny bit online that, they show Hu Yang with the multiple lightsabers, fighting Shin Hati. I thought someone on Reddit said it would be hilarious if this Hu Yang dies and he gets resurrected, but has Matt Smith's voice, because he's, for nerds that don't watch Doctor Who, Hu Yang is voiced by David Tennant, who also famously played Doctor Who. And Matt Smith also played the Doctor after him, if I have my timelines correct. But that would be, they're not going to do that, but that would be completely hilarious if they
that would be hilarious. But what's funny about that is there's a trailer that some guy made up for Star Wars Starfighter, which is the next Star Wars movie with Ryan Gosling. And they made up a whole bunch of stuff for that. And one of the things they put in there was a guy who's like, he seems to be a Sith, like he's got the hood, his face is all messed up, and it looks like Matt Smith. Like it was like they were like let's cast Matt Smith as the bad guy in this, which got me. I was like, that's really funny.
He is in Starfighter.
Oh, he is in the movie. Okay, that makes more sense. And like they basically made him out to look like the Sith. But this is funny to me. Is like this is not the only time that Star Wars has sort of tapped into Doctor Who, because like they had Tom Baker on Rebels. Yeah. But what's funny is there's also now been, especially with the Star Trek Strange New Worlds, there's been a bunch of Doctor Who references on there. Like this one character was talking recently about like flying around the universe in a police box, and like people were like, huh, what? Like it was really weird. Like they've been throwing all these weird little references in. So it's funny that people are starting to do that. Like I keep waiting for them to make a Star Wars reference on Star Trek, because I don't know how you don't.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, it's just they're so big at this point that I think they should refer to each other. But Paul, let's get some updates on what is going on the excellent website, paulsemel.com.
Okay, so I'll start with the book stuff. So ton of author interviews coming up over the next couple weeks. I just put one up, an interview with a woman named Erin Ampersand. She wrote a rather iconic sci-fi lit RPG series called Apocalypse Parenting. And now all those books are being reissued over the course of the next year. The first one just came out, called Time to Play. And this is kind of an interesting series. It's basically like aliens come to Earth to basically turn it into a reality show, and everybody on Earth has to take part. But the story is told from the perspective of a mother of 3.
Interesting.
So
Is that
that's
her actual name? I do not believe her.
I doubt it, but I didn't ask. And then another book I wanted to highlight is Settle Down by Jeremy Robinson. He is a really clever sci-fi horror writer. Interviewed him a bunch of times, actually. And this new book is interesting because there's an art professor and his students. They get stranded on a desert island, and then they see mysterious lights, and then they find an abandoned sailboat, and there's an alien invasion involved. Like, his stories go weird. Like, so that's going to be up later this week.
Love the cover. It reminded me of, people that haven't been to New York. They would put posters over, construction areas. So I was kind of wishing, when I saw this book cover, I was kind of wishing these were all over New York so I could write Beavis under everything, just because I can't think of the word settle down without thinking of Beavis. Sorry, it just happened.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And now I'm embarrassed that I didn't bring that up in the interview.
What do you tell him? Settle down, Robinson.
Yeah. That just threw me. Okay. And then on the video game side, a couple of good things coming up that I can't talk about, but one thing I can is I put up a review of the action RPG adventure hack and slash game Beast of Reincarnation, which is made by your friends at the Pokemon Company.
Yes.
But is not very Pokemon, and
At
it's
all.
not at all, and it's not nearly as good as you would hope.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah. I'll basically boil it down for you. You and I have played enough games to know that one of the qualities that really sets a game apart is being effortlessly fun.
Yes.
You sit down, you're like, I have an hour to play. You're going to play for an hour. The next thing you know, it's 4 a.m, and where the hell are my pants? And this is not that game. This is a game where I would be like, I have an hour to play. I would sit down, and then I would be like, okay, I'm ready to take a break. And I would look up, and it had only been 40 minutes. That's not good.
The title made me laugh because I kept thinking of Beast of Burden by the Rolling Stones, and they should do a remake of that song for this. I'm sure like Mick Jagger's granddaughter plays Pokemon or something. So
probably
could have pulled in a favor.
Yeah. I don't think that would have helped. I mean, and it's annoying because the game is very much like Ghost of Tsushima and Ghost of Yotai.
Yeah, the screen made me think of that immediately.
Yeah, and the thing is, when I was playing Ghost of Tsushima, I remember thinking to myself, like, I would love a sci-fi version of this. And that's kind of what this is, but not as good. Like, you know what I mean? Like in a weird, okay, I don't know if this will make sense to everybody listening, but I think it'll make sense to you. It almost seems like this is the first game in the series, and Ghost of Tsushima is like the 5th game in the series, like when they had a chance to really like refine it and get it better.
So it looks like conceptually solid, but the execution was off.
Yeah. Which is always like, to me, like the worst thing. Like, it's one thing when a game has like a bad premise and they don't even live up to that. But like, I always hate it when, when a game has like a really good idea and they just blow it. There was a game years and years ago, and the basic idea was the Japanese never bombed Pearl Harbor, so we never entered World War II. But then in the 50s, the Nazis launched a sneak attack against New York. And you have to sort of help defend it. Like, I was like, I'm there. I'm sold. And then I played the game and I was like, ugh.
Oh, yeah, that's always disappointing. But it actually makes me more excited to read your review now and keep singing in my head that I'll never be your Beast of Reincarnation.
Yeah, well,
If you wanna-
neither will this. So
to check out these interviews and reviews and much, much more, go to paulsemel.com. There's a direct link in the Facebook and YouTube descriptions. Now back to D23. Let's talk about White Vision, as people keep calling him. Some people are calling him Mayonnaise Vision. I loved WandaVision and I loved Agatha all along, so I can't wait to see where Vision Quest is going.
right.
But even though in my head it will probably take me 20 minutes to not keep looking for Matthew Modine and his wrestling singlet. For people that weren't alive in the 80s, there was a movie called Vision Quest where a very young Matthew Modine played a high school wrestler that fell in love with an older woman, and other things happened. I don't even remember if that movie is any good, but let's talk about Mayonnaise Vision. So what did you make of this trailer, Paul?
I was really excited by this because, again, I really didn't know where they were going with it. Like, I kind of wondered at some point whether it was going to be much more of an adaptation of there was a run of the comics where Vision built himself a wife and 2 kids and tried to be domestic.
Tom King.
Yeah. Yeah. And I thought maybe that's where they were going to go. Because the thing is, in my head, I never added in Agatha. To me, and this is one of the things that got me excited about the trailer was when they said, this is the final vision of the trilogy. And I was like, trilogy? I'm like, oh, okay. Because when Agatha came out, it really seemed like everybody loved the character in WandaVision, and they were like, hey, let's do a little spin-off. And it will do something, but it's going to be just like a little comedic spin-off kind of thing. I didn't think of it as being a bigger part of this. And now I feel like, oh, this is going to be very different. They're going to incorporate more. They're going to bring the kid back and be like, hey, Vision, you have a kid. And the fact that they also have Ultron.
Yes.
Okay. That's interesting. It's also interesting to me that James Darcy, who played the human Jarvis in Agent Carter and briefly in Endgame, is back, but according to the internet, which we all trust the internet, he's not playing that Jarvis. He's playing an electronic version of Jarvis, a Jarvis. So.
Right. I mean, the AI that was in Tony's original Iron Man suit was Jarvis. So
right.
That is the Jarvis he's playing.
Yeah. Except he's not that Jarvis, because that Jarvis is part of Ultron. So it's like the Paul Bettany found an old copy of himself and reintegrated it into this AI thing.
Right. But I mean, they're also doing Friday. The second AI from the Iron Man suit will have a human form in this as well.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
So they are doing those different AIs as human people, which is why James Spader had to become James Spader for the show. They made that joke about, human icons only or whatever. I forgot what the exact words were.
Yeah, human forms only, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was great when I saw it, and the fact that he's got a scraggly old man beard, I'm
and
that's very funny.
People dog on Age of Ultron, but I enjoyed that movie. I know it's probably the least of the Avengers movies, but I thought James Spader was charming as hell.
But saying something is the least of the Avengers movies is kind of like saying this is the least of the Led Zeppelin records. I mean, I thought he was great as Ultron, and I love that he's going to be in this as well. I also love that it seems to be very much in the spirit of WandaVision, kind of that more lighthearted thing. I didn't know where they were going to go with this.
See, because in my head, when you said spirit of WandaVision, I'm like, yeah, because it's weird as fuck, and I love it. So
yeah.
I love how weird this is. Agatha was weird too. And, I love that they're continuing the story with Wanda and Vision's kids. Agatha all along had Billy, who plays Wiccan eventually in Young Avengers. This one has Tommy, who will be Speed. He is the Quicksilver-ish kid. of Wanda and Vision. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to see where this goes. I don't know anything about the kid that's playing Tommy.
No.
So I really hope, he does something interesting. Yeah, I'm excited about the AIs because I think a bunch of the AIs are in here. We already talked about, Friday and Jarvis. They're going to have a human playing Edith, who was the AI in Peter's glasses in Far From Home.
Okay.
So I love all these AIs will be getting human characters. Jocasta's in it, who I don't think was in any of the MCU movies yet or shows, but she plays a big part in the comics in the Ultron stories, where she was like this android that was built to be Ultron's wife. And she was also made out of adamantium, or I guess vibranium in the MCU, because they did not have adamantium at that time. So,
although now they have a fuck ton of it. So.
Now they have, yes, they do. Do you think Vision will get his coloration back, or are we stuck with mayonnaise Vision for a while?
I don't know. I feel ultimately he will get it back, but I feel like there may be more, like something will happen, but I don't know what. Because one of the things I was thinking is this show runs before Avengers movie.
Right.
Does it do it? Like, does something happen in it that leads to the Avengers movie? Like, will Vision turn up in the Avengers movie? Again, like, I don't, the possibilities are, well, not endless, but certainly intriguing. So,
yeah. Well, there are rumors that Wanda will end up being one of Doom's witches. So maybe they bring Vision back to pull her back to the light.
Right. But is it the same Wanda that he was involved with, or is it like a Wanda from a different reality?
Well, I mean, this isn't the same Vision that was there, because this is kind of like a copy of Vision. And who knows how it works with androids and superhumans and mutants. They can make their own rules. And plus we have multiversal stuff. So my hope is that VisionQuest is its own thing and doesn't tie too much into Doomsday. But I wouldn't be mad to see a small cameo or, small bit at the end of Doomsday with Vision in it, especially if it ties into Wanda's role in the movie. And maybe we'll see more of him in Secret Wars. What do you think of Tommy? Do you think they'll make him a champion or young Avenger in the future? Or do you even want that?
I mean, I think if you're going to bring him back for this, if you're going to bring him into this show, then you're going to have to pay it off with him doing something later. Because otherwise, at least what we know so far, they could have done the same story with the kid they already brought back.
Right.
Because all we know is that Vision finds out that his made up kid is actually real and is out in the world. Right. So it doesn't matter which kid. Like, if you're going to introduce the other kid for some reason, you got to pay it off. So,
and I think it's a good investment because he's a young, cheaper actor. So if you want to do future things with Tommy and Billy, it'll be cheaper than doing something with, Robert and Chris Evans. So,
well, but also then you run into the question of, and I can't believe we didn't talk about him earlier, the speedster from the X-Men.
Quicksilver.
Yeah. This guy's basically got kind of the same powers. So
yes, exactly the same.
Do you need to, is this a way of doing this without having to get Quicksilver? Or do you not want that? Do you not want him taking the place of Quicksilver?
Well, MCU Quicksilver is dead, so why not? I mean, that would be Tommy's uncle. So sure.
Right, but if you're incorporating the X-Men, then you can bring the Quicksilver from it. Well, I guess it would depend if we're talking about X-Men from this universe or another universe.
Right.
Because we don't know.
When you said the Quicksilver, that made me think of Gambit in Deadpool and Wolverine when he calls him the Quicksilver, the Punisher, the Daredevil. Like, so you're going all Cajun on me for a second. But yeah, I'm super looking forward to this. I think it might be too weird for some people, for a mainstream audience, maybe, but I love how weird this gets. And, I mean,
people seem to really love WandaVision. and people really loved the Agatha show, so I think they'll be okay.
Well, WandaVision was the first MCU show, I believe. Was it first or second?
I thought it was second after the
after Falcon.
Falcon, yeah.
So there was still a newness, and that's kind of why people loved it, or one of the reasons. There wasn't quite superhero fatigue back then. Fewer people definitely enjoyed Agatha all along. I loved it. People that don't like musicals, because music does play a big part in that series, they were kind of turned off by that. And it got weird and magical and mystical and all that.
But people, I mean, the thing is, people really love. I mean, look at the effect it's had on Catherine Hahn's career.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's awesome.
She is, but she definitely got a boost out of that show. You know,
right.
Like you now see her doing commercials for Staples and things like that. Like, you know, it bumped her up.
Let us close things out with Ryan Gosling and Star Wars Starfighter. I mean, they didn't show much, but I want to talk about what you think of him, what you think of this movie, what this movie, and also Ahsoka 2, season 2, what this means for the future of Star Wars movies, because there seems to be a ton riding on Ahsoka season 2 in terms of the future of Star Wars television, and even more riding on Starfighter as the future of Star Wars movies. And this will be the first, original movie with Filoni fully in charge of Star Wars. Right. So a ton riding on this. First, what do you think of Ryan Gosling in Star Wars in the first place, Paul?
For a man who is so unattractive, he's done really well for himself.
Yeah, he has overcome his looks.
He's overcome his looks. No, I think, look, I've never had any issue with that guy. I know some people do because he's so pretty and because he was in The Notebook and blah, blah, it's like, whatever. I thought he was so good in the Barbie movie and just, taking the piss out of himself as much as the Ken doll. And I think he'll be really good. I like that the director is the guy that made, Deadpool and Wolverine and Stranger Things. Like that guy seems to know what he's Sean Levy. He knows what he's doing. A
little bit. He's kind of good.
He'll pass. I mean, what I kind of am expecting from this movie is not nearly as much of a reliance on the earlier movies.
Yeah.
Like I think they're gonna try I don't think you're gonna see R2D2 and C3PO. I don't think there's gonna be it's not gonna be episode 10.
Right.
It's gonna be like its own thing. And I almost kind of see it being like the first and an entry point, but the first sort of post Skywalker saga. Like I don't think it's going to set a lot of stuff up. I think it'll be very self-contained. Like I don't think it's the first movie of a trilogy. I don't think it's going to be like the Phantom Menace where it's setting a lot of stuff up to come later. I think it's just going to be a fun, interesting movie. Although what's interesting is they've said that it has something to do with a starfighter.
Yes.
Obviously. But a ship that's supposed to be the fastest starfighter. And that made me wonder if there's some kind of connection with that animated show Resistance. Which was about people racing starfighters. I don't know. It would be a weird thing to bring back, given that nobody liked that show and it didn't do very well and it was canceled after 2 seasons. But I don't know.
So I agree that I don't think this will be setting up, a series of 9 movies or anything, but I kind of think it's a table setter for the future of Star Wars, saying like, okay, this is the tone, this is where we're going. So maybe it's not.
Oh yeah. I agree with you that way. Like I think it could set up things tonally. I think it could explain where the universe is at this time.
Right.
Post the Empire. I just don't think that it's going to be like it's going to end on a cliffhanger and then they're
Yeah,
going to go,
right.
oh, and we're doing Starfighter 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, he's not going to lose
know.
his hand and be like, "Oh, you're my dad," kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't see any of that stuff.
See, I'm excited for Ryan Gosling. Just I think I'm such a big fan of this guy. I think the first time I saw him was Remember the Titans as one of the goofy kids on the football team. I loved him. I love his self-deprecating side that you hinted at in Barbie. He even did a bit of that in Crazy Stupid Love, which is a fantastic rom-com. Big fan of his SNL appearances, where it's so clear that he is absolutely not afraid to make fun of himself. So I think he could have a similar kind of, almost like a goofier Han Solo vibe is kind of what I'm hoping for. Because he has the swagger, but he fucks up more than Han. So that's kind of what I'm getting. Like he's not the chosen one or anything, but he's a cool dude. So
they did announce that his name is Kate Oberon.
Yes.
So I Googled it to see, like, maybe that's a character that's been introduced in the extended universe or somewhere, like an old comic book. Nothing. So unless it's an alias, it's a whole new character, which is kind of cool.
We did talk about Matt Smith being in the movie a little bit earlier. Some of the other actors confirmed. We have Mia Goth, Amy Adams, Aaron Pierre, John Stewart Green Lantern himself. Daniel Ings, who I really enjoyed as the Baratheon in A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Other people that I've never heard of, but what are any excitement for these actors? I mean, obviously you're a Matt Smith fan, being a Doctor Who fan, but I love Amy Adams. I think she's incredible.
That's a really, the Amy Adams one threw me the first time I heard it, because I was like, I can't picture her in a Star Wars movie.
I can't, but I almost expect as soon as she starts acting, I'm like, oh, that's exactly right, because she's so gifted that I think
she is a really, really good actor. She is really good, and but she's never played anything. You know what I mean? Like, I've never seen her either in real life or in a role that made me think of like her being in this kind of a movie.
Right.
But if anybody could pull, you know what I mean? It would be like if they said Meryl Streep was in this.
Right.
Or no, you know what's better? It was like when they said Cate Blanchett was going to be in
Thor.
Thor, and everybody was like, what the fuck? And then she turned up and they were like, oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, that's completely what I expect from
Amy
Adams. I have no idea what she'll be playing, but I'm 99% positive that she'll ace it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Mia Goth has had an interesting career and has made some crazy career choices. I'm excited to see her. She did play a bit in the Odyssey, where she was one of the servant girls. With the accents they were using, it made me think that her name was Mylanta. And I'm like, what did she cure indigestion? What's going on there?
Yeah.
But I wonder what Aaron Pierre will be doing. And will he distract me from the movie by being so handsome?
Yeah, I don't know. There's another guy who's like just overcome his unattractiveness. And
yeah, I find him like too good looking that it distracts me.
Yeah.
I'm having as much as I enjoyed the first episode of Lanterns, I'm like, dude, stop being so handsome. It's starting to piss me off. But
he's going to have a very short career. It's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Women are just going to hate him. I did think it was interesting, speaking of Ryan Gosling, though, that they talked about him being Ghost Rider.
Yeah. Yeah. And Sacha Baron Cohen will be coming back as Mephisto in his movie.
Right.
So I'm excited for both of those things.
Yeah. What got me really excited, because I've mentioned you before being a Ghost Rider fan from being a kid.
And being
I really like that Ryan Gosling is a huge Ghost Rider fan and actually came up with the story with Sean Levy, who's directing that as well. And that when they presented it to Kevin Feige, he was like, oh, that's really interesting. Supposedly.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's marketing doublespeak, but still, like, I kind of like that idea that, like, he's a fan and he's come up with an idea that he thinks the fans are gonna dig.
Well, isn't that why he married Eva Mendes? Because he saw her in the Ghost Rider movie and he went all fanboy.
Yeah. I do think it was funny that like she came out and said like, I am so excited because it's all he's talked about. Like it was almost like
for the last goddamn 20 years.
Yeah. All he's talked about is wanting to be Ghost Rider. Thank God we got this out of the way.
Sometimes he wakes me up at like 3 a.m. to talk about how he wants to be Ghost Rider.
Yeah. Can you believe he's playing Ghost Rider? Why, yes, that's all he ever talked about.
So there's a lot riding on this movie. Do you think? I mean,
Starfighter. You mean going back to Starfighter?
It almost Starfighter seems too big to fail. That they have to get this one right.
I don't know about that because I think you could always with Star Wars take a few years off and then bring it back, which is what they've kind of done a couple times. You know, keep it going in games, books, and comics, and then figure something out. And they have other things kind of in play. Like they're still planning a movie with Rey.
Right.
You know, I think
a Filoni-verse movie.
Right. There's been talk of doing that with like the Mandalorian and Ahsoka all tied together. Although that one they could just put out as a movie on Disney Plus, I think. You know, and I think there's also still talk of other people do, like I think Taika Waititi still is working on a movie. I don't think the Patty Jenkins movie is still going.
It's not.
And I think the movie that was supposed to James Mangold was going to make that explains the origin of the Jedi Order is not going to happen anymore. But I think there's other movies that they've got. Like I'm not that worried about. I'm more worried that I'm going to die before the last Star Wars movie comes out rather than like it happening before I die.
I feel that way about George R.R. Martin. I've already accepted.
Yeah, George R.R. Martin, I think will probably die before we get the not the next, maybe the next book, but certainly the book after that.
I don't know. I think he has some deal with the devil where he's going to outlive both of us, and he's going to be like 105.
You know what I want to happen is I want him to be like, okay, here's the penultimate book. And the last book is already done as well. Like he's just gonna, that's what he's doing. Cause I mean, what the hell is that?
But
I mean, I don't think that's true, but like, I just don't understand like what is taking just
no, I get
12 years. I mean, I get that he's distracted, but like,
I always think of the Brooklyn Nine-Nine fantasy author that they came up with who, that guy pulls. Maybe that's George R.R. Martin's problem now. He's just like flooded with beautiful women and he can't get to the typewriter or computer or whatever he uses. As many things that are riding on Star Wars Starfighter, there might be even more riding on Ahsoka Season 2. People are saying that the future of Star Wars TV hinges on Ahsoka. Do you think that's true? Do you think we'll see more series?
I think that's true because those series are a little on the expensive side.
Oh yeah.
And with Star Wars, like with Marvel, you could tell smaller stories that don't require a lot of expensive special effects and big sets and things like that. I mean, you saw that with Wonder Man, although they canceled that. So you kind of can't do that with Star Wars.
Yeah.
I do think that they would probably continue with the animated stuff because the animated stuff has done well for them, and the cost of making an animated show doesn't like go up when you add like more stuff. So I think they could get away with the animated things more than live action. But I also kind of think that they want people to subscribe to Disney Plus, and these are the things that have driven people to it.
Right. You need content. So
and you need original content. You can't just rely on the 3 Disney movies or the 8 Disney movies that come out every year. Because, even with Disney, Pixar, Star Wars and Marvel, maybe you're lucky to have one movie a month. but that's not going to drive subscriptions, you know. So maybe they scale back and do only one Star Wars show a year live action and put a lot more into it. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like maybe it's not 10 episodes, maybe it's like 14 or 16 or something. I don't know.
I don't either.
Who knows?
But I hope.
I mean, they could also come up with an idea for a more traditional TV show.
Right.
You know, I mean, the thing with the Star Wars shows is they've all been like 24 in the sense that they're really just long movies. There hasn't been like a more traditional TV show, you know, where you like if they did a show about the bartender at the Mos Eisley Cantina, and it was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like Cheers in space, basically.
Or a show like Taxi, where it's in a repair shop for starfighters.
With the what's her name? With the woman who
on Tatooine. Yeah.
I mean, if this was the 80s, that would be a TV show.
Right.
You know, and it would be a big deal when the Mandalorian and Grogu guest star.
Right. It'll be like those Happy Days episodes where all of a sudden Mork from Ork is on the show.
Right. Yeah. Or the ones where Laverne and Shirley show up.
Yes. Crossovers are great. I do hope there is more TV content. I know they canceled a bunch of Marvel projects, so I'm hoping there is more Star Wars projects, at least, whether they're animated or live action, because honestly, the series are why I have my Disney Plus subscriptions. I own all the movies digitally that I want on my Apple TV. So I don't, every now and then it's nice to watch one of the movies I don't like as well, but not a big deal. The series are really where it's at. Right now, it appears like Daredevil is the only consistent thing. So hopefully we'll have more of him and more accompanying him, more importantly. I do hope we have more Ahsoka, maybe a proper Rebels show in live action. That would be awesome, but also expensive. Zeb is expensive, and Chopper doing war crimes is expensive.
Yeah.
But let us know what you think, guys, about the future of Marvel and Disney and Star Wars TV and movies. Let us know what you thought of the D23 announcements. What did you think of the X-Men cast? Are you excited for Doomsday after this trailer? Go to paulsemel.com, read his excellent interviews, reviews, previews, and more. Like and subscribe, and join us next time where we be reviewing Coyote versus Acme. I'm excited for this movie. It is back from cancellation hell, which makes me very happy, and kind of excited to see how John Cena plays it, because he's playing a more angry, serious role than the goofy, lovable characters that I enjoy watching him perform. See you next time. You've been watching RPadTV. That's Paul. I'm Raymond, and we're out.